On New Year's Eve, my younger sister sneezed because I didn't close the window tightly enough, so my parents kicked me out the door, forcing me to go out into the pitch-black darkness to gather firewood. Inside the house, the whole family was gathering, everyone laughing happily and giving lucky money to my sister. I didn't cry, didn't make a scene. Out of habit, I put the basket on my back and braved the wind and snow to go up the mountain. As a result, I didn't find any firewood, but I found a man. His leg was stuck in a rock crevice, covered in blood, looking very scary. Seeing me approach, he opened his mouth, his voice hoarse.
Little kid, if you save me, I'll agree to whatever you want.
I looked up blankly, my gaze pausing. Really? Will you be my dad then? As soon as I said it, I realized the person in front of me had passed out. After thinking for a while, I still managed to pull him out. Carrying the comatose man, I stumbled back home. I intended to tell my parents about the situation, but I was welcomed by a slap from my father.
You're still waiting for hot water? Where's the firewood? What the hell is this thing you brought back? Why are you standing there like a statue? Hurry up and start the fire.
My mother frowned, her gaze sweeping over me as if looking at trash. I pursed my lips, intending to speak. In this weather, if he had to sleep outside all night, he might freeze to death, not to mention he was injured. My sister came skipping over. As soon as she saw the bracelet on the man's wrist, she cheered. Wow, the four-leaf clover is so pretty. Mom, Dad, I want this. She was the family's treasure. They would surely agree to whatever she asked. Sure enough, while my father was still hesitating, my mother reached out to remove the bracelet. Why can't I take this off? Forget it, bring him inside. Wait for him to wake up and then ask for it. We saved him after all. Yeah, we saved someone. Grandma, come help too. My sister cheered innocently. Sis, remember to feed Max all the leftovers. I saved some ribs for him as a tech gift. At this moment, she was playing the saving people game with Dad, acting serious about bandaging the man, calling me over while seeming to remember something. Oh right, you haven't eaten dinner yet, have you? Then what about Max? I promised him. Her face was full of hesitation, her big round eyes glistening with tears. Eat what? You couldn't even gather firewood properly. What are you good for? Seeing you standing there during Tet just makes me angry. Grandma screamed and cursed at me. Just then, the man I saved finally woke up, slowly opening his eyes. My sister stared at his hand and spoke coquettishly. I saved you, you know. You have to thank me. I want your bracelet. The man's gaze swept around, barely pausing on me. Without hesitation, he took off the bracelet and put it on my sister's wrist.
I am Julian Thorne. I met with an accident while traveling with a friend. Thank you all for saving my life.
I stared at the dad I had picked up, hoping he would recognize that I was the one who saved him, but his eyes only rested on my sister, completely looking past me. My hand, which was gripping the hem of my shirt, loosened. It was always like this, whether it was Mom, Dad, or Grandma, everyone only liked a lively and cute sister who looked like a doll. No one liked a timid, unlucky child like me. Having received the bracelet, my sister lost interest in the saving game and skipped off to the backyard to play with the big dog. At this point, Dad looked at the man impatiently.
Since that's the case, call your friend to come pick you up quickly. It's almost Tet. Don't bother other people.
My dad's gaze swept over me as if carrying thorns.
Sorry, I haven't been able to reach my friend yet.
Mentioning the friend, the man's emotions finally changed. He looked troubled, and finally, after agreeing to pay a thank you fee, my parents reluctantly let him stay. Grandma glanced sideways, muttering curses about bad luck, a calamity that only brings disaster home. Dad glared at me, grabbed a rag, and threw it in my face.
Get out and wash the dishes.
The musty smell hit my face. I obediently picked up the rag and started working. Seeing that Grandma wasn't paying attention, I secretly ladled a bowl of cold porridge for him. Eat, don't starve to death. He looked at the watery porridge. Though he frowned in disgust, he still took it. I felt a bit regretful because that was originally my dinner. Holly, don't worry. Someone is taking care of that guy. Go to sleep quickly. Mom hugged my sister and sneaked out again. You're only wearing pajamas. Don't catch a cold. She glanced at me, her eyes full of disgust and blame. Tina, take care of him properly. Don't bring more trouble to this house. I whispered a yes, waited for him to finish the porridge, and helped him into the woodshed.
I'm sleeping here.
Yeah, I'll let you sleep on my bed. I pointed to the iron bed in the corner of the room. I helped him lie down, then I climbed onto the bed too, habitually stuffing some newspapers into the gaps of the drafty window. Then I laid some layers of cardboard on the floor, spread an old blanket over it, and reluctantly lay down.
Do you really sleep here?
This time he was stunned. His cold face began to change.
This is your bed. Wasn't that your sister earlier? Are you a biological child?
Under the dim light, I didn't answer his question. Julian rubbed his forehead, looking at the makeshift bed with disgust, but finally reluctantly lay down.
It's best if you stay in the woodshed from now on. If you make your sister unhappy, you'll be kicked out.
I curled up, hugging myself to try and keep warm. Actually, I regretted it a little. I saved him only hoping to get a father who would love me. Yet this picked-up dad couldn't even remember who I was. It made sense, though. Compared to the fair-skinned sister who was as pretty as a doll, I was skinny and dirty. It was normal for a dad not to like me. Whatever, consider it a good deed done. Since I didn't pick up a good dad, maybe next time heaven will send me a mother. In my drowsiness, I fell asleep. Early in the morning, past 5 a.m., I woke up on my own.
You're up? Why are you up so early?
Behind me, Julian looked at me suspiciously. The dark circles under his eyes were pitch black. He looked like he hadn't slept all night. Yes, I have to chop wood, sweep snow, feed the dog. There are many chores. I have to finish cooking breakfast before Mom and Dad wake up. Don't worry, I'll save a bowl for you.
Could you not sleep?
I adjusted the bed and asked him. Julian seemed unable to digest what I had just said. His face tensed up, and his voice was stiff.
Can you sleep well in a cold place like this?
I'm used to it. I took the blanket from the floor and put it back on the bed. If you're cold, use this extra cover. I'll wake you up to eat later. After saying that, I didn't wait for his reaction and turned to go outside. Dawn was breaking. I had to hurry and gather firewood for today. Otherwise, Grandma's wooden sticks would strike my back like a whip again. Stepping on the thick layer of snow, I moved quietly step by step. The flashlight beam swept across the white snow and illuminated a black shadow behind a tree. I remained calm, skillfully covering the light. Strange animals often passed by behind the mountain. With bad luck, I might even meet a wild boar. But I was used to it. I wasn't afraid. I was just about to turn away when a weak call sounded from behind. Is anyone there? Hey, don't tell me I'm going to freeze to death here. That was when I discovered it seemed to be a woman. Did heaven really send me a mother? My eyes met the woman's. She had beautiful long curly hair, her big round eyes blinking at me. Where did this child come from? Am I so cold I'm hallucinating? No way. Do you want to follow me home? I asked bravely. Seeing her nod repeatedly, I let her follow me. On the way back, I learned her name was Sylvia. She was also someone who came to the mountain to play, unexpectedly getting separated from her friend. Heavy snow blocked the way back. Her car got stuck in the snow, and she couldn't go down the mountain to find help, which was how she had the chance to meet me. Arriving at the gate, I stopped. I can let you stay, but you have to be my mom and take me away from here. Sylvia was stunned. She looked at the tattered cotton coat on me and the basket full of firewood on my back, her eyes gradually becoming complex. Do you live here alone? She glanced at the car in front of the door, a hint of suspicion showing. My eyes stung and my throat choked up. No, there's a dad, a mom, a grandma, and even a younger sister. They are all here. Sylvia sighed softly. Little girl, if you already have a mother, I can't be your mother. Your biological mother would be very sad. I gripped the hem of my shirt tightly and shook my head. Come on in. Be careful not to let them find out or you'll be kicked out. I spoke while leading her to the woodshed. As soon as I pushed the door open, Julian's gaze froze. Sylvia's eyes widened, and the corner of Julian's mouth twitched. What a coincidence. They seemed to know each other, but I couldn't pay attention to that anymore and hurriedly stacked the firewood. I'm going to cook breakfast. You two don't make any noise. I hurried to the front yard. I had clearly been very gentle, yet Grandma frowned as soon as she woke up. Why make so much noise early in the morning? It's rare for Holly to be back. Are you jealous of her, so you're making noise on purpose to stop her from sleeping? Her voice lowered, her eyes full of malice. Seeing I hadn't cooked yet, she got even angrier, grabbing my hair and pulling hard. Learned to be lazy, have you? What time did you wake up today? I tried to endure the pain, whispering an apology. I'm sorry, Grandma, sorry, I'll do it right away. Because she was watching me closely, I didn't dare ladle much food for the two strangers after finishing breakfast. Even so, a slap still landed on my face. Lazy, gluttonous, and you like picking up trash. Get back to the woodshed, don't loiter in front of your sister. I lowered my head silently and left in a hurry, afraid that if I was a second slower, I would be beaten more. In the woodshed, Sylvia stood up immediately when she saw me enter, her eyes resting on the red mark still on my cheek, shocked. Did someone hit you? Julian didn't say anything, but his expression was also very bad. I pretended not to hear, carrying a small stool from outside by myself and placing the bowl of porridge on it. Here's breakfast. You two share it. I'm going to continue working. Sylvia quickly pulled me back. What about you? Aren't you eating? I ate already. As soon as I told the lie, my stomach growled.
She didn't get to eat last night either.
Julian suddenly spoke, his dark eyes staring at me. Are they abusing you? Sylvia frowned and asked. Before the two could say anything else, Grandma's shrill scream rang out from outside. Tina, where the hell are you? Come out here and work. I hastily let go of Sylvia's hand. Remember to eat it all, or I'll be scolded again. In the yard, Grandma was catching chickens raised in the coop. Usually, she counted every single egg and stored them carefully, afraid I would secretly eat one. Yet as soon as my sister came back, she waved her hand and wanted to slaughter 2 chickens at once. Kids need to drink chicken soup for nutrition. Eat one now, bring the other back to the city. She smiled kindly at my parents as if completely forgetting I was also a child. Come here and kill the chicken. She shoved the knife into my hand. The cold blade touched my hand, making me reflexively pull back. Why are you spacing out? Want to be lazy again? She kicked me hard in the back, causing me to stumble forward. The blade grazed my hand and sliced the chicken's neck. Blood splattered all over my face. Blood gushed from my hand, but I didn't think about treating it. Instead, seeing this, Grandma screamed piercingly. Get away, get away. You can't even do a trivial task properly. Look at your dirty blood. You did it on purpose, didn't you? No rice for lunch. In a daze, I was chased back to the woodshed, my whole body shaking as if thrown into an ice cellar. Sylvia had heard the commotion outside for a long time and was peeking through the crack in the door. She frantically ran over to bandage me. When she grabbed my wrist, she clearly froze. Because my arm was skinny to the bone, and the hands extended were dark, rough, full of calluses and cracks from frostbite. From outside the door came the voices of my parents and sister. The snow on the mountain is so beautiful. I want to go take pictures.
Okay, but you have to dress warmly, baby. Don't catch a cold.
Where's my sister? She goes up the mountain often. Tell her to lead the way for us. Why call her? That girl isn't close to us. Having her along is just annoying. Sylvia's face darkened. Are those really your biological parents? Probably. I muttered, then mechanically walked outside. After finishing every chore for the day, I didn't forget to secretly bring some food for the two in the woodshed. That night, Sylvia refused to sleep on the bed with Julian. Instead, she lay on the ground with me. She touched my forehead and found it frighteningly hot, so she quickly took off her down jacket and wrapped it tightly around me. A strange but pleasant scent and warmth enveloped me. I was stunned for a moment, tears falling first. Instinctively, I wanted to call out Mom, but I gritted my teeth and swallowed it back. I don't know if it was the fever or not, but that night my heart warmed up too. When I woke up the next morning, it was already bright. Grandma was cursing in the yard. I reflexively shot up. Overslept, no. Sylvia and Julian also heard the noise and tried to pull me back, but they only saw me stumble out and collapse in front of Grandma. Is this little brat getting lazier? Or are you busy taking care of that disaster in the woodshed? Truly an ungrateful wretch, worrying about strangers' business, but not your own family's. She was so angry she laughed, grabbing my hair to drag me aside, one hand taking the iron snow shovel nearby and smashing it hard onto my back. I curled up in pain, gasping violently. It's so boring, Grandma. I want to build a snowman. My sister stood nearby as if she didn't see Grandma beating someone. Her eyes rolled, and she pointed at me. Let Sis be the snowman. She grabbed a handful of snow and threw it straight at my face, innocently turning to call Mom and Dad. Mom, Dad, come play together. My parents walked over, completely ignoring me gasping on the ground, and gently put gloves on my sister.
Be careful, don't get cold.
My sister giggled, shoveling snow to cover me. Cold clumps of snow slid down my collar. I turned pale from the cold, unable to stop shivering. Meanwhile, my parents' scolding rang in my ears.
It's just a little snow. Can't you cooperate with your sister a little?
Suddenly, a voice cut in. You don't want to raise this child, do you? I'll raise her. How much money? Name your price. I wiped the snow off my face and saw clearly who had spoken. Sylvia stood in front of me, her face flushed red from the cold, her anger visible to the naked eye. Julian, using a piece of firewood as a cane, limped out from behind. Did you kidnap this child? How can you treat her like this at such a young age? She took a deep breath, seeming so angry her voice trembled. My parents didn't understand what was happening yet. Seeing them walk out of the woodshed, Grandma's gaze, like a knife, dug viciously into me. You little slut, you dared to bring these disasters home? Who gave you the guts? Saying that, she kicked me hard in the stomach. I curled up in pain. What are you doing? This is child abuse. Sylvia blocked me, pulled my dazed self up, and carefully brushed the snow off me. If you don't want to raise this child, let us raise her. Grandma was impatient and about to curse more. My dad stepped forward and asked sternly,
Who are you? Why are you in my house? Secondly, this is our family matter. We don't need outsiders interfering in how we teach our child.
That's right. Does this old woman look like she knows nothing? You guys are trespassing. If I kick you out, is there anything wrong with that? Grandma spat, her hand gripping the iron shovel tightly, the threat obvious. Julian frowned, trying to support himself to shield Sylvia.
Sorry, this is my friend. Heavy snow blocked the road. We can't leave for the time being. Don't worry, we won't stay for free these days. We won't be short on payment.
He pursed his lips, took off the remaining watch on his wrist, and gave it to my father. My parents glanced at each other, clearly recognizing the watch brand and knowing it wasn't cheap. But Grandma didn't care about that much. She quickly pulled me back and slapped me straight in the face. I wondered why it felt like there was a thief in the house lately. Turns out it's you little slut. Running off to suck up to people on your own. Who did you learn that habit from? So scheming. She glared and cursed viciously. Why don't I see you care about your sister like that? You only know how to please outsiders, huh? Want to escape work and dream of climbing high? You think too beautifully. She pinched my face tightly. Sylvia couldn't take it anymore, pushed Grandma away hard, and turned to my parents, repeating herself. You are abusing a child. She's old enough to go to school, right? Yet you don't let her go to school and keep her locked up on this mountain forever? Sylvia's sharp gaze swept over my sister. My sister was a few years younger than me, yet she was cherished and protected carefully by my parents. Not only was her face rosy, but even her height was slightly taller than mine. She studied at an international kindergarten. While I didn't know the alphabet, she could already speak a few decent English sentences. At this moment, my sister stood beside Mom, watching me get beaten without any reaction. She had long been used to that favoritism, the corner of her lips even curling up as if watching a fun show. You only care for the youngest child and don't consider the eldest human? Sylvia gritted her teeth and questioned. A look of guilt and embarrassment flashed across my parents' faces, but they quickly regained their righteous demeanor.
This is our child. We'll raise her however we want. Why do we need outsiders like you to manage it?
Grandma also seemed to purposely demonstrate power, pulling my hair hard, making me cry out in pain. Young people minding other people's business should also see if they have enough capability. Grandma dragged me into the house. I trembled in fear because I knew what kind of beating I was about to face. Reflexively, I wanted to beg, to call for help, but seeing Sylvia anxiously stepping forward, I gritted my teeth and held it back. No, don't speak up for me. She still couldn't leave this place. If my parents got angry and threw me onto the mountain, it would be over. Julian obviously realized their helplessness too. He reached out to stop Sylvia. That sensible attitude softened my parents' expressions a bit. Considering the money, my dad lifted his chin toward the woodshed.
Hey, don't cause more trouble for the family. Isn't that basic politeness?
Sylvia clenched her fists. Julian held her arm tightly, his voice cold.
Let's go.
That day, naturally, Grandma didn't go easy on me. She made me take off my shirt, and the wooden stick lashed heavily onto my back. Old wounds layered with new ones hurt so much my whole body shook, unable to stop myself from screaming. Grandma sneered and scolded. Acting pitiful for what? Still expecting those two to come save you? So scheming. Tired of beating me, she threw me back into the woodshed. She glanced sideways at Julian and Sylvia, looking incredibly smug. The door slammed shut with a bang. Sylvia immediately pulled me up, so scared her eyes turned red. How could she treat you like that? I'm sorry, was it because I rashly stood up for you that you got implicated? I wanted to shake my head, but the pain hit like a tide, my consciousness faded, and I fainted. When I woke up, it was because of Sylvia's sobbing. Julian's leg seemed infected, and he started to have a high fever too. Sylvia was so anxious she almost threw her phone, cursing and shouting. This stupid idea was yours. Now why are you passed out? Hey, why is the signal lost in this damn mountain again? I struggled to open my eyes and saw Julian's pale face. I immediately felt something was wrong. I'll go get medicine. I tried to prop myself up, ignoring the pain in my back. Your body hasn't recovered yet. If you go back there and your grandma catches you. Sylvia pulled me back, unable to continue. It's okay, I'm used to it. They can't beat me to death anyway. I tried to squeeze out a smile to reassure her, but the smile was uglier than crying. By this time, I knew the whole family was asleep. Enduring the pain, I tiptoed into Grandma's room, rummaged through the drawer to take out some boxes of anti-inflammatory drugs, and finally returned to the woodshed. I only then realized my forehead was drenched in sweat. Sylvia held my hand tightly and spoke firmly. Don't worry, we will definitely take you away. I nodded, my body collapsing again from exhaustion. I didn't know how long I slept. When I groggily woke up, I found myself lying somewhere warm. Looking closely, it wasn't a bed but a car. I was lying in the back seat with a thick blanket underneath. The wounds on my back seemed to have been treated. Now there was only bearable pain left.
Little girl, you're awake?
Someone in the front seat spoke. Seeing me look with suspicion, he hurriedly explained.
I'm the driver for the Thorne family. A few days ago, young Master and Ms. Sylvia went up the mountain to relax, but met with an accident and lost contact. It took us quite a while to find them. Now young Master and Ms. Sylvia are inside discussing taking you away.
Hearing that, I immediately sat up, eager to get out of the car. The driver had no choice but to help me inside. As soon as I walked in the door, Grandma's gaze shot straight at me like a dagger. My parents also looked over. Anyway, Tina is the child I carried for 9 months and 10 days. It's just that being raised at her grandma's house meant she received a little less care. There's no way I'd give my biological child to someone else. My mother held her chest and spoke. My father also sneered, clearly finding it amusing.
You two are outsiders. On what grounds do you point fingers at our family affairs? Even if you have money, there's no principle that allows buying someone else's child.
His gaze shifted to me.
Tina, speak up. Do you want to leave home and not need your parents anymore?
Looking at my father's confident appearance, I clenched my fists. Clearly, they only loved my sister and didn't like me at all. Every time I secretly used the house phone to call my parents, they hung up as soon as they heard my voice. It was ridiculous. Why act reluctant to part with me now? I don't need you people. I raised my head to look straight into my parents' eyes, no longer dodging or afraid. I spoke every word decisively, full of determination. I will have new parents. I don't need you anymore. Hearing that, Julian laughed softly, reaching out to pull me behind him and Sylvia. Only then did I realize both of them were sitting. Behind them was a group of uncles in black suits, looking like bodyguards in TV dramas or lawyers. I looked blankly at Sylvia. She smiled gently at me. Watch closely, we will win you back. Julian threw a stack of documents onto the table, his knuckles tapping lightly on the surface.
Miss Hudson, right? Currently working at some small foreign company. Planning a promotion next year? That small company has invested in the Thorne family's project. Correct? Tell me, if that company is destroyed because of Miss Hudson, how will her boss react?
My father's eyes shifted from confusion to terror. He hurriedly opened his mouth.
Thorne Corporation? That Thorne, is it that family name?
His eyes widened, his gaze constantly darting between Sylvia and Julian. Only now did he realize the aura and pressure emanating from the two were absolutely not those of ordinary people. He had never thought they would have such a huge background. Which way do you want to go? Say it straight. Do you want to settle privately, or do you want to make it a big deal? The Sylvia family's lawyers aren't just for decoration. A small case of child abuse is enough for you to sit in jail for a few years at least. Sylvia smiled at my parents, her voice light as air but enough to make them shiver. Julian pulled out a card and threw it over.
30,000. That's enough, right?
Actually, the number he said at the beginning was much larger than that, but he knew well that people like my parents would absolutely not let go easily. Now he had lost patience, knowing they had no choice. Sure enough, my parents could only grit their teeth and swallow their anger, their hands trembling as they signed the contract and commitment, swearing to cut off all relations with me from now on. In the car, Sylvia held me in her arms. Why are you so thin? She spoke chokingly, resting her chin on my head, her hand squeezing mine tightly. It's okay now. Everything will get better. A warmth I had never known before covered me, my heart pounded. The car sped through the winding curves of the mountain road. In just a short while, we were out of the mountains and onto the wide highway. I looked back, dazedly thinking that the mountain, which always looked so high and unreachable in my eyes, only took a short drive to exit. I didn't know how much time had passed when the car stopped in front of a manor. I realized this place, beautiful as in a TV drama, was just one of Julian's residences. I still have to go to a competition in the next few days, so I have to leave the girl at your place first. Take good care of her. Sylvia glared at Julian, then bent down to rub my head. Tina, stay at Uncle Julian's house for a few days, okay? Mom will come back to pick you up later. I nodded obediently. Sylvia's smile was truly beautiful. Her gentle voice was exactly like the dream mother figure I had imagined. I couldn't help but tug at her shirt. Can I call you Mom? She paused slightly, instinctively glancing at Julian, but meeting my timid, expectant gaze, she couldn't bear to say a word of refusal. Of course you can, sweetie. I called out very quietly. Seeing her nod, I gathered all my courage to call her again. Before, I didn't dare call Mom because Mom would get angry. Mom only liked my sister calling her that. Sylvia's smile froze slightly, but then she looked at me very seriously. Mom loves hearing you call me that. Tina, everything in the past is over. You have a new mom now. After seeing Sylvia off, I stood face to face with Julian in silence. He pointed to the floors above my head and asked me,
Go up and look at the rooms yourself later. Choose whichever room you like to sleep in. Someone will prepare it for you.
Then he spoke to the butler. I obediently said yes, twisting the hem of my shirt. Perhaps realizing my anxiety and awkwardness, Julian's voice softened.
Thank you, Tina. If you hadn't saved me, I really don't dare imagine what would have happened.
It was the first time Julian said so much to me. My eyes widened in surprise and disbelief, and I hurriedly spoke. It's okay, Uncle Julian. I should be the one thanking you. Thank you for saving me from that place. Actually, at first, I also had selfish motives. I wanted to try and see if I could pick up a new dad. I pursed my lips, hesitating a bit, but still spoke up. Uncle, can I call you Dad? He paused slightly. I'm sorry, I'm being too greedy. I already have Mom Sylvia now. It's okay, you can refuse. I hurriedly apologized. However, Julian laughed softly.
Okay, call me that. Next time, you can call us Mom and Dad in front of Sylvia too.
I don't know if he thought of something, but in the second half of the sentence, he coughed lightly, and the tips of his ears turned red. I was dizzy with the excitement of having new parents, completely ignoring that detail. That night, I chose a guest room near Julian's room. The maid spread a soft blanket on the bed and gave me a pretty nightgown. Looking in the mirror at my clean, washed, fair, and fragrant self, I suddenly felt like I was dreaming. No, even dreams had never been this beautiful. That night, I slept the best sleep I'd ever had. The blanket under me wasn't hard anymore, but soft as clouds. I didn't need to live in fear, afraid of oversleeping and being punished by Grandma the next morning. In the days that followed, Julian stayed home to recover from his injuries. I kept tagging along behind him, taking care of him bit by bit, pushing his wheelchair, serving tea and water. He smiled and said to me,
Tina, at my place, you don't need to do so much.
I lowered my head to think for a moment, then looked up seriously again. Let me do something. I don't want to be a burden to everyone. He was silent for a long time, finally giving a soft hum. For dinner, he even ate the dish I cooked myself. Seeing me standing on a small stool struggling to stir-fry, the maid couldn't help but speak up several times. The child is so young. Let me do it.
How can I let her do this? Just a few times. After this, she won't have to do these things anymore.
Julian raised his hand to stop her, his voice very light. After cooking, I happily brought the food up. Looking at Julian, who didn't have high expectations, his eyes flashed with surprise after taking a bite.
It's very delicious.
I smiled brightly with satisfaction, puffing out my chest proudly. Of course, I was taught to cook by Grandma when I was 3. These things are no problem. Immersed in joy, I didn't see the flash of pain in Julian's eyes. After staying at the Thorne family for a month, Julian told me that there was a party at the old house this weekend and he would take me along. I looked at myself, immediately panicking inside. Will I meet a lot of people?
Yeah, you will also meet Dad's grandparents.
I froze. Even though I called Julian Dad, I only dared to do so when there were just the two of us, secretly enjoying a bit of love to deceive myself. I wasn't their biological child, that was wrong. But since Julian had brought it up, I didn't dare refuse. After being taken to the old house, he told me to sit and wait a moment, saying he would come back to pick me up later. I sat on the sofa. In the grand hall, the ceiling was high, hanging with brilliant crystal chandeliers. The dazzling light made me dizzy. On the long table in front of me, exquisite pastries and fruits were displayed. More and more people arrived, everyone wearing luxurious evening gowns and suits, each looking as if they had walked out of a fairy tale. As for me, I sat gray and dull in a corner, my heart beating faster and faster, until I felt sharp gazes sticking to me like thorns. I heard people whispering and discussing Julian. How old is the eldest son of the Thorne family? How many marriages has he rejected? Wasn't it rumored before that he had someone in his heart? Look, that kid in the corner might be an illegitimate child. He looks upright, but turns out he has a kid too? A few days ago he was urged to get married, and today a kid pops out. Old Master Thorne must be fainting from anger. The whispering got louder and the mocking gazes around increased. I couldn't take it anymore, stood up abruptly, and walked in front of the people who were bad-mouthing Julian, enunciating every word clearly. Who told you those words just now? Who said I'm Julian's illegitimate child? I was small, and my voice was immature, but at this moment, no one dared to look down on me.
Haha, little kid, don't mind it. We were just joking. If you don't know the truth, don't speak nonsense.
I tried to suppress my racing heartbeat, gathering all my courage to speak to him. As soon as I finished, the hall fell noticeably silent, and a hearty laugh rang out from behind.
Ha ha ha, this child isn't bad. Julian has a good eye, bringing back a good kid.
I turned my head. Unknown to me, Julian was already standing behind me. The person who had just spoken was an old man he was supporting.
Tina, Come here and greet great-grandpa.
Hearing him smile and talk to me, I realized that old man was Julian's grandfather. I obediently stepped forward. Although I was very nervous inside and my palms were sweating, I still smiled naturally and greeted politely. Hello, great-grandpa, I am Tina.
Good, very good. Just now Julian ran over to tell me he picked up a daughter. I was wondering what it was about. Seeing you like this, what reason do I have not to agree?
Old Master Thorne smiled kindly at me, then looked up and glanced at the people who were bad-mouthing just now, his eyes immediately becoming sharp and cold.
I'll pretend I didn't hear those words just now. Speak words appropriate to the setting. Do you still not understand this principle? Or are some people not even equal to a child like Tina?
The men hurriedly smiled awkwardly, constantly flattering old Master Thorne. Even I was praised along with him.
This girl is clearly extraordinary. So young, yet having such guts and brains. From now on, this little girl is the young lady of the Thorne family. Adoption procedures are underway.
Julian glanced lazily at them and announced. As soon as the words were out, I looked up at him in surprise, unable to believe I was truly accepted. I was still immersed in what Julian had just said, staring blankly, when a female voice rang out from the main door. Hey, Julian Thorne, you dare to steal my child? Following the sound, Sylvia stormed in aggressively. She glared at Julian, then pulled me behind her. She pouted and acted coquettishly with old Master Thorne. Grandpa, this is my child. Why did you guys make the first move? Old Master Thorne must have heard about their story too, purposefully teasing her.
Oh, since when did you have such a big daughter? Sylvia isn't married yet, still very young. Isn't it just right for Julian to raise the girl?
Sylvia glanced at Julian, who was acting like nothing was happening, then looked at me standing stunned on the spot. She was so angry she got annoyed, acting spoiled like a child. No way, I saw her first. She even called me Mom.
She called me Dad too.
Julian smiled with curved eyes and interjected. Tina, you. Sylvia turned to look at me, her expression saying, you disappointed Mom so much. She took a deep breath, sat down, and asked me. Then you choose. Who do you want? Or should it be Mom? She winked vigorously at me. I secretly glanced at Julian. He acted like he didn't care, remaining silent, but his eyes didn't leave us for a second. I pretended to be innocent. Mom, I want Dad, and I want Mom too. Why don't Mom and Dad just stay together? Sylvia froze. Julian couldn't help but cough lightly. Conversely, old Master Thorne laughed out loud.
That's right. Tina is still the smartest child.
Grandpa, what are you saying? Sylvia glared around. Everyone looked like they were enjoying the gossip, and she couldn't help blushing. Forget it, Julian. Consider yourself fast. The adoption papers aren't done yet. Who settles it first isn't certain. She dropped a warning and pulled me away to eat good food. I secretly turned my head and waved to signal Julian to chase after us quickly. Although I was small, I was the best at reading people's expressions. Julian's gaze had never left Sylvia from start to finish. I was really greedy too. Having both Dad and Mom would make life so happy. Sylvia held my hand, walking while not forgetting to warn me. Don't be fooled by Julian. Don't think just because he's usually quiet that he's easy to trick. Actually, he's very scheming. When we were little, he set traps for Mom quite a few times. How can he be your dad? The person you need most is this Mom right here. She spoke while stuffing cake into her mouth. But suddenly, the champagne tower beside us started to wobble. It was tilting toward us. I was just about to pull her to run, but it was too late. The champagne tower collapsed, making loud crashing sounds. Instinctively, I hugged my new Mom, closing my eyes tight, not daring to look, but the predicted pain didn't hit. Instead, we were held tight by a strong embrace. I opened my eyes. It was Julian. He used his back alone to block all the danger, protecting us in his arms.
Are you okay?
Hearing the voice from above, Sylvia looked up at him blankly in disbelief. She touched his back, which was covered in blood. You? Julian frowned, seeming to try to endure the pain, but still smiled.
Am I that bad in your eyes? Then can you teach me how to be a good father?
I quietly slipped out of Sylvia's arms, ran to the main hall to call for people, and led old Master Thorne back, only to see Julian already lying on the ground. Sylvia was crying while hugging him tightly. I didn't know what they said to each other, but I clearly saw Julian turn and wink at me. I laughed brightly. It seemed that this time, I would have both my dad and mom.